Okay.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Healers Enlightened Network. We are so blessed today to have Valerie come and speak to us about Reiki, the wonderful, beautiful essence that we can do. And before we start, I want to start with the Reiki precept that I just taught when I just begun. So if you would please put your hand on your heart and your hand on your root chakra and say, just for today, I will let go of anger.
I will let go of anger.
And come up to your sacral chakra. Just for today,
Just for today,
I will let go of worry.
I will let go of
worry. And then come up again to your soul. Just for today, I will count my blessings.
Just for today, I will count my blessings.
Just for today, I will work honestly.
Just for today, I will work honesty.
And up to your heart chakra. Just for today, I will be kind to every living creature.
Just for today, I will be kind to every living creature.
Thank you. Contemplate these thoughts and just think how we can enlighten them and how much we hold in these areas. And we keep repeating this. And if you do it enough, we don't have long enough to sit here and go into meditation to be able to actually feel as this comes up. And you're allowed to just release the energy. You know, you can dig deeper if you wish, but it's beautiful that we can, because remember, love is the greatest healer of all. But we keep forgetting that. Remember, each person is responsible for their own health, whether, you know, they need healing can take place in many places, as we all know. Remember that it may be an emotional healing of the heart. It could be physical healing of bones or lungs. It could be spiritual healing of the conscious mind. That affects the subconscious mind and become more enlightened.
It says have yogurt and fruit or cherries or something with your lunch.
Okay. Remember that spiritual healing is as important as all the other healing, because we hold so much in there. So successful healing allows us with knit minds to come together so we can grow in groups and grow and help people, one person at a time, one soul at a time. So everybody can feel the love, the gratitude like we have for themselves and for their surroundings. To pull that off their eyes and go, wow, this is amazing. It is time for us to bring in the love. Is it not, darling?
I agree, now more than ever.
Amen. And thank you for coming and being here with us today. What got you started in Reiki?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because there's an interesting story behind that, Cynthia. So a couple of years ago, I would say about a little bit more than 5, I had this girlfriend and we were best friends since kindergarten. Like, it's just the friendship that she knew what I was going to say before I spoke it. Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries. She was just my right-hand woman. It was like, and she was diagnosed with cancer all of a sudden, and she only had 3 months to live. So I was in a yoga class, and my yoga instructor said, Valerie, what's going on with you? Your head is like all over the board. And I told her what happened. And she said, you know, you would be a great candidate for Reiki. And at that time, I never even heard of it. So I said, well, what's that? And she explained it.
Yeah.
And so I decided to give it a try, because I just needed some guidance and something. I needed something I know. Mm-hmm. So as I was lying on her massage table, I was always an empath, so my body absorbed the energy the minute she started giving it. Oh. So as I was laying on the table, though, I had my eyes closed. My body absorbed the energy like a sponge. but something like on her wrist kept clinking, 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 kind of like, look up here, I was getting the message.
Mhm.
So I opened my eyes and I peeked over, and my girlfriend that was passing, her face was on my Reiki master's face, as clear as day. I was like, ah. So during the session, I was quiet about it, but I did tell her what I saw. And she did say to me, she said, well, you do know why you saw her face, right? And I said, no, why? And she said, she showed you what your passion is. She's going to be going, and she's showing you what your passion is. I'm getting the chills right now as you are. I know. Every time I share this story, it's just a loving story. So whenever you get that chills, you know that whatever you're saying, the spirits are saying, yes, that's true. Like I'm getting the chills, like I'm in an ice box right now. So she showed me what my passion is at before she left. And it's true. Ever since that day, my heart's been on fire for Reiki. And I got certified on all 4 levels, and I continually have a desire to grow. I use it every day. I probably would have, I don't know, jumped off a bridge by now because I use it as a nice healing coping mechanism. So, a lot of people, they get off the prescriptions and addictions and everything like that, and they use the healing modalities as a way of coping and a lifestyle.
Now, when you on yourself, because I've been certified as a master Reiki for a couple of years, but they didn't teach us about working on ourselves. I mean, I know how to, but do you actually lay hands on yourself, or do you go above, or do you can feel the vibrational energy coming off your hands?
Well, I think that everyone has a Reiki inside of them, but they need to be like attuned. So for myself personally, if I start moving my hands just like this and pulling them away, like right now, I can already feel the energy. So the more that you practice with it, but I'm a hands-on touch person. So even with my clients and myself, I love to even my body will tell me if my heart is hurting, if I need more, if I'm second guessing myself and I need more solar plexus confidence, kind of, I'll put my hands there. So I'm really in tune and listen to my body, but I do put my hands on it. I do use incense. My favorite is the Palo Santo stick. Absolutely love that. And the frankincense and the oils and all those things just come into play. But I do like to put my hands on and use the symbols.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing this for 5 years, and we know that Reiki is a hand-on natural healing modality. It came from Japan, from a guy. His name is Mikao Usui. So that's what I practice under. And in the early 1900s is when he found this. Just the other day was his birthday. So yeah, so I've been doing it daily, and I've been growing a small clientele business. And I love to just do it on my grandchildren and pets. You can do it on everything, food, water, wherever anybody. And I think that, like when we were saying, that we're all kind of instilled with the Reiki inside of us, because even as parents, if a child falls, the first thing that we do is go over and rub it. So we're bringing that energy to the area, and it's putting the intention, being in tuned by a Reiki master, and just following, like you were saying, your heart. It's not necessarily any type of religion. Love is our religion. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell us how this all came about, and go through the steps of how you went through it, because I know Paulo's going through it now, right? Paulo, are you going through Reiki now? And I have a few others that are starting to go through it. So if you could explain it, so maybe we could entice, maybe that's not the right word, but entice others that, hey, I can do this for me, for my family, just like the emotion code and body code, just like all the other things that we beautifully do.
Absolutely. So what I absolutely adore when I started doing it was listening to my clientele's experience afterwards. That was just priceless for me. And knowing that I just had that moment for an hour, knowing that I made their life a little better and put them maybe on the right path was just, oh, my heart just is joy. That's the passion. That's the reason why I love to do it. So they do come in for different reasons. They'll come in for college students, will come in for stress and guidance. A lot of people will come up in for relationships, going through a divorce. I see a lot of times. I do notice that men and people that were struggling with addictions in the past, they are the ones that actually fall asleep on my massage table. And I think it's because their bodies are like a sponge and they just absorb it and need it so much, especially men. I think sometimes they're not like, as women, we're more in tune to our emotions. Whereas men, they're really, the lovely thing about Reiki is you don't even have to know exactly what kind of trauma or where exactly you need it. The energy goes where it's needed. So the men will fall right to sleep. They'll start snoring and they'll apologize, but that's the biggest compliment because they're just so relaxed. And yeah.
I thought I did something wrong. I practice with my husband because of how stressful he is, and he always falls asleep. It's like, what am I doing wrong? But
So
thank you for that.
yeah, so you noticed that as well.
My son was like, why are you always falling asleep? I even did it on my Suedo son. He says, Mom, that was just the greatest nap I've ever had.
That's just awesome. I know that when I give it distantly, my friend had said, when you did that bell at the end is when I woke up because I fell asleep. So I know that the distant energy also works. So how I do it is a client will come to my place where I do the Reiki, and I'll have a form. It is important to have a form, and just kind of for two reasons. One, for insurance purposes, just in case, anything were to happen, you just want to cover yourself. And then also, sometimes I notice that people like to talk after the Reiki session because all their chakras are open. Right. So as before, they're kind of like, and they're coming to you very vulnerable. So some people are a little bit quieter and they don't want to talk too much. So that's why, but I like to pick up their energy. So that's why I kind of put a couple questions on what do you do? Why are you here for a session? And a little bit of just regular questions so that even when they talk, I read people very well. I can pick up their energy. And this way I'll know which oil to use. If they're their energy is lower, I will use peppermint to up it. And then if their energy is higher anxiety, I'll do a lavender to lower it a little bit. So for a couple of reasons, that form is important. And then after you build that rapport a little bit with your client, of course, being empathetic and understanding and never judgmental with the client is so important. I remember when I was being taught, my Reiki master, which I thought this was really neat, I would sit on a couch and she would get on her knees and I would talk to her down like this because I had to be, I know, I thought that was, and I didn't.
Wow, that's just.
It is. It's just my hair is standing straight because at that time I didn't understand, like, why was she? And now I can understand, like, she wanted to make me feel like you are safe here. You are not being judged because I am very vulnerable and I'm showing you all my scars and I'm becoming to you very honest. That's sometimes hard for people to do, but she wanted to show me that no judgment. And it was very humbling. It was a very humbling experience. So, she did do that. So then after you pick up your client's rapport and the energy, what I do is I have a massage table and they'll lie down on a massage table and I have a nice waterfall. So I create like a nice serene environment. I'll put the waterfall on, that calms them. I'll ask them to set their intention for their session. So I'll say, this is something that you want, just one thing that you want out of life. Set that intention, just one thing. And this teaches them to trust in the universe. No, not to worry, just one thing, setting your intention and send that out. And my big thing is, and again, you'll find your own natch, your own nick, like natch with it as you go along. But with me, I like to use chimes. So when I set the intention, I do the chimes. I also do a healing bowl and I ask all the ancestors, angels, and spirit guides. I welcome them to sit in on your session. That is the time where if they feel like my daughter, she's like, Mom, can you turn off that fan? And when you feel that blowing cold air on you, that's a spirit saying, I'm here. So I said to my daughter, and her and I have a tug of war, a push and pull relationship. So if anybody wants to prove me wrong, it would be her. And I would say to my daughter, there's not a fan on. And I said, that's actually a spirit in the room with you. And when I told her that, her eyes swelled up because she knew who was present in the room. Yeah. So,
Even look
so
old enough to have children.
I'm sorry.
You don't look old enough to have children.
Oh my goodness. I have actually 3 grandchildren also. Yeah. So
You look good.
I drink lots of water and do Reiki.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. So as my client is lying on the massage table, I'll start with their setting their intention, and then I'll use the healing bowl to call in all the angels, the ancestors to sit in on their session. And then I start up with their head. I ask them to breathe in 3 deep breaths of the oil that I choose. And they take 3 deep breaths. And I also put like a lavender wrap over their eyes. This sometimes they'll see a little bit more images and colors a little bit better, I notice. But if they, I ask them if they're allergic to any kind of oils or anything like that. And then I have soft music playing with the waterfall, and I start with their head and I do the Reiki from their head to their feet. And then I also put different crystals on their bodies. The 3 that I like to use is the rose quartz. I always put that above because I want to lead with your heart. And then the selenite, that's the angel in the middle. And then at the bottom, I put the black tourmaline for protection. So it's kind of leading with your heart. The angels are guiding you, and you're having your protection all on your chest after I do the Reiki. And then at the end, I make sure I pull on their feet to ground them. And then I'll do the healing bowl to end this session. And I thank the ancestors and spirit guides for sitting in on the session. And I'll do that a half an hour. And then the other half, if they choose to sign up for that, they'll turn on their other side. And I start from the head to the end. I pull out then all their energy from their feet, and then I end the session. And then that's when they open up and they tell me what their experience is. And that's when, for me, is when the gift begins for myself also, because all this whole gift just opens up that I don't know until they share it with me.
Right. That's beautiful. Can you give us an example of like what they shared with you?
Sure, absolutely. So a lot of people will come for someone that had passed away also. The grieving process, they don't know how to kind of disconnect, go through that peacefully. I personally, I admire the spirit world because I've seen and felt it. And with my 2 friends that had passed, they visited me in dreams. With me, I want to be there. So it's kind of like I have to ground myself because it's not my time. So, but a lot of people struggle with, like, I think we make the whole death sorrowful events, whereas I kind of look at it as it's just kind of like Mario Brothers, like powering up to the next level, which is, I feel bad for the people that we leave behind on the earth. But we tie it to, as humans, we tie it to all emotions and heartache. And they don't want us to do that. So, so I'll remind them that for me, I mean, when I pass, I want everybody to have a celebration and talk about all the happy memories, because my heart goes out to them. I'm somewhere in a peaceful place, and they're the ones that have to suffer even more on this earth. So I don't want them to do that any longer. So some of the experiences that the clients have had was somebody actually saw sharks at the bottom of their feet.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that meant that she had to be on guard. She was going to be tested in life. So she also saw the 8 on her forehead. So that told me that she has to stand guard, to stand her ground, protect her energy, but also lead with her heart. Yeah, and it's nice because they'll tell you what the experience is, and sometimes I'll get messages. And then afterwards they'll say, well, what does this mean? And we can try to make sense of it. And then sometimes if we don't know right then and there, maybe an answer will come in like a day or 2 after. Another experience was a client of mine. Her mom had passed and she didn't have a good relationship with her. So she really didn't make peace with the of her passing. And she's the one that actually, it's funny because she won the gift certificate that I raffled off.
Oh, what you were talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so it was kind of meant for her to have that gift certificate. And as a gift to her, because I know that financially she couldn't pay, I give her Reiki sessions whenever she wants, and I never charge her.
God bless you. Beautiful.
But as she was giving her session, as I was giving her session, do you know that this never happened before? She came off the table and she went to the bathroom and threw up.
She can sense it anymore.
Yes, because I saw a clear image of leaves on the ground dirt, and I saw the energy going up and ruffling them with her in her session. I saw that. So it's kind of like she wanted it, but because there was so much clogged, her chakras were clogged so much, it kind of like pushed it through, and it was like major. So she did throw up. And when she came back, I always make them feel like, as comfortable as possible, because they're going through so much and they're so vulnerable. So she had said, "Oh, I'm sure I'm the first time that this happens." And I'm like, "Oh no, don't worry about it." But it was the first time, and I never experienced something like that with a client before. But ever since then, because I keep in contact with her, she has gone to yoga. She's doing crystals and oils, and knowing that you had your hand in that, and she got the gift certificate by fluke, somebody gave it to her. It was meant to be for her. So it's really nice to hear the experiences that people go through, and the directions that they go through. Another one that I had was a man was struggling with his relationship, and as he was on his stomach, I used the chakra pendulum to go over each chakra to see if it's opened. And when I got to his back, it was spinning around a lot, like the energy was a lot. No, I didn't tell him I used the chakra pendulum. And at the end, he said, "What did you use at the end?" And now he was on his front, so he didn't know I was using anything on his back. And I wanted to know why. Right, it was fascinating. So I said, "Well, how did you know I used something? Because with the chakra pendulum, you don't know. There's nothing you hear." And he said, "I felt somebody coming in like this and just pulling up, pulling up."
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just awesome. They look at you like you're magic. Like a lot of them will be speechless, like, "I don't know what you just did." But that kind of, and and I would have to encourage to put a value on your service, because you put value and money into getting certified, and your oils and your crystals, just like any other occupation, you have to put a value on it for yourself also. So a good thing is that they start to ask me. So that's how I implemented it at the end, to schedule them automatically for 2 weeks to a month. I'll say, "Okay, in 2 weeks to a month, what day is good for you?" And that's a nice way to just keep coming them back. Now, if they don't want to, if they're not sure, or financially, or their calendar, they'll let you know then. But I just kind of like gladly go into it, because they're almost like looking for that. So, and you do want the clientele to keep coming, even if it's like once a month. It depends like where they are in life and what they're coming for. Sometimes people just need a refresher to just kind of open up and align their chakras a little bit. And other people are going through some major physical illnesses, stress, so that you might want to bring them, make them an appointment in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I offer other services too. So when you're doing Reiki, some of the things that you can do is add different things. And as you're doing Reiki, things will come to you as you have the thirst for more knowledge. So I added sound baths onto my Reiki service as an additional service. So I have like a tongue drum that I'll use, and that kind of raises their vibration, and that puts them in a meditative state right before the Reiki session. So I use Tibetan symbols. I'll also use, I got a Jamaican stick. It's an ocean Jamaican stick. So I'll do that back and forth, listening to the ocean. And again, that's an additional, I think I charge like $15, and it's for 15 minutes, but that's a sound bath. I use my chimes, healing bowl, Tibetan symbols. tongue drum, and I'm thinking of getting, it's called the tuning forks. Have you heard of them?
Oh, yes, they work well.
Do they? Have you used them?
I have seen them used by my mentor, and it was amazing. And she goes, "You're not ready for this yet." And I thought, okay, that was 37 years ago. Why haven't I done it yet?
Right, you just stumble on different things, and by going into different groups, you'll find different ways. I also added like I'm not a masseuse, but my clients are asking me, can you massage my feet? Can you massage my hands? So I added a hand and foot massage on. Now I do tell them I'm experienced, but I'm not certified, but it's only the hands and feet, but that's where all the nerve endings are. So they absolutely love it. Um,
It invites them more, and that you care, and it shows.
exactly.
It's for your clients, it shows.
Right. And when you see your client, they're kind of looking around too. You might want to pick up some visual things that they can buy, crystals or oils or jewelry, because I do notice that they're looking like, okay, they have been, their eyes are open and they're very interested and they want to keep growing with it. I'm stumbling for the word. Yeah, I guess like their eyes have been open kind of things, and they're looking to buy something. So I do have like the Palo Santo sticks, the incense, some bracelets and earrings. What else?
You have an actual brick and mortar store, or it's all at your home?
Oh, it's from my home. I used to have like my own personal office. But then I moved. So this is still kind of like on the side kind of thing, because I do notice that the more that I enjoy it is when it actually starts growing more. I also teach in New York, so I was certifying different clients, on different levels there. But I do notice that the more that I just involve myself into different things and enjoy it myself, that's when it starts to pick up and grow more, rather than, because this is something that it's not a hard so that you could push, because it is a gentle spiritual energy. And it teaches us patience and all those other great modalities. So I kind of listen to my spirit guide to see what to do and ask for the guidance. And another service, again, that it just came to me that I did not think that this would be a big thing for me, but it is, and that's when usually they'll start getting emotional, and that's why I have tissues ready for them. So after the Reiki session, I use a chakra pendulum if they want to get an angel card reading. And my thing is the angels. I love to connect with them. Sometimes you'll see what your knack is, whether it is some people like nature more, so it's like the fairies, they're more. And other people will like doing like just different things like the moon and sun. So there's like a name for that. And I can relate to that, but I definitely can tell my thing is definitely the angels. So I'll do the angel card reading and I ask for the guidance and I use their energy from the session. And I do a past, present, future reading on them. I ask the angels, I clear the cards and I ask the angels to show us what they need to see. And it is marvelous on the past, present, future, because I don't know. And when the card comes over and they know, that's when they start crying and they'll share why that came up. So it's really liberating with the card reading. So that's another service that I've added on.
I've never been. So you use Apollo?
I'm sorry?
Apollo, have you used oracle cards? Right, they're called oracle cards.
Well,
You haven't, Apollo? Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay.
right, because there's different types that you can use and you can listen to what you're being called for, because there's so many different types. Mm-hmm.
I had one lady, I was in a store looking at these cards, and it was a big store, and I thought, she said, "Are you doing devil's work?" And I went, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Are you doing devil's work? Those are devil's cards." And I thought, oh my God. No, I don't do devil's work. And I
Right.
just walked away. I was not, and I never went back to the cards again after she said that to me. I thought, is that what people think?
Well, I think like they call it black magic or witchcraft, and I do think that is something that people do.
Mhm.
However, I have zero interest in it. Um, and I just don't have any interest, and I don't even think of to dabble on that. No. But if you want, I can put in the chat my Facebook pages if anybody would be interested in. So this is my Facebook page, and either following or just adding any information that you would want. So my Facebook page is, let's see, healing energy.
So when you do Reiki on people, do you suggest every 2 weeks or?
Well, I would say it depends on what they come for. So if somebody is struggling, you can really see, like especially women, we carry so much on our shoulders, and you will get, as you know, as your clients come, you will read people better. You will pick up their energy as we're going over that form of theirs. You can see that how much they need it. So women carry a lot on their shoulders. I can tell when women just need to release. Women just need to, because we are constantly pulled in every direction, and have so many, responsibilities, and we just take it on because we are strong, powerful women. That I don't think that, so another modality is Tantra. Now there's different things of Tantra. It could be like a Tantra sexual stuff. And that I've noticed with couples, which I'm dabbling a little bit more into, is that couples really don't know how to connect. And it's more with connecting with your senses. So that's something that I've been dabbling into. So I do couples, and then also empowering women, because I think as women, we don't realize our own power that we have. And once we start tapping into it, it's definitely not a haughty, we're women kind of healing energy. It's kind of like, this is what our purpose is. We can feel the energy, we can feel our ancestors, and we just rise with confidence in it. And it's just a remarkable thing. And through, relationships and other people, we've been shamed and been just through a lot of stuff. So this is kind of like a really nice, this is who you are before everybody told you who to be kind of thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Paula, do you have any questions on?
Yes. The question that I have, Valerie, is do you do also Reiki distant sessions?
I do. So I do the distant Reiki. Usually, it's bigger in Canada and India for me, but people have experienced the same exact feelings that they do as if they're here in person with the session. So I do the Palo Santo, I sage the energy, I do the chakra pendulum and all the things, and they get the same feeling and healing modalities as if an in-person one.
Wow. So
And in your experience, for example, let's say that is someone that is living in another country.
Mhm.
So in your experience, if you cannot do hands-on to that person, doing the distance Reiki, you have seen that it helps, we can say almost the same, because the intention.
Exactly. And we know that, right, and energy goes to where it's needed. So if where that person needs it, the only thing that we ask of is an open mind of our clients. So because I do have people that are skeptical, And I just say, I understand that you are, because this is something that we have to show them without seeing. You know, seeing is believing. Now we're asking them to believe something without seeing. Good luck. But but once they experience that first session, whether it be distance or in person, they're like, wow, like I have, you know, reviews where people have said, I was a skeptic before and I didn't know what to expect. But the proof is their own experience. So that is, that's another thing too, when you decide to, always ask them to leave a review. I think I have like maybe 20 reviews, but that can go a long way, because if you start your own web page, you always can take that review, and people like to see what other people are saying, experiencing, and feeling. So that's a good thing too. So that is their own unique experience, and each single one is unique. You can't say these two were the same. It's like snowflakes. Their each experience is gonna, so, you know, and that's the gift that we give, and you yourself feel that Reiki. So I know that some people will ask, you know, after I teach and I'll give sessions, aren't you drained? And I feel actually more energetic. Don't you, Cynthia?
It gives them, because we feed off of their energy, they feed off of ours. It's like a two-way street. You just keep it positive and full of light and love, and gratitude flows throughout.
It does. And that's just the marvelous gift that we give and receive. So it's just a nice flow to it.
Yes, yes. It's such an honest feeling. I mean, when I first started feeling with my hands, I thought, there's something wrong with it. You know, just what is wrong with me? But then I started searching. I mean, I've always been able to see things, but then I started searching things, and Dr. Brad's book came across 3 times before I said okay, because I thought it was a little wiggity too. But Paulo and I don't the emotion code and body code and so many other modalities that we incorporate in what we do. But what we
And
want is to get this everywhere, no matter what modality, so everybody can learn where we can take our healthcare back instead of everybody living off of a pill or a band-aid. Let's take it back and let's take care of ourselves instead of letting somebody that only looks at this part or this part or this part and doesn't look at it as a whole. Let's look at it as a whole. Let's see the whole part. Let's see the whole body, spirit, physical, whole 9 yards. Instead of the doctor sitting here going, I just don't know what to do. Let's just give you this pill. I don't know if you're from the States, but here in the States, that's all they do is write pills. Here's a drug, go away.
now, where are you located, Cynthia?
In Pennsylvania. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
in a Commonwealth, so they do things a little differently here than I'm finding out. And like we've moved all around because we're military, and things here are just, healthcare here is not good at all. But I'm hearing from other places that their healthcare has dropped also. And it's all begun because of this last 1.5 to 2 years. So Paulo, how is it in your country with healthcare?
How is here with healthcare?
Mhm.
What do you mean? How is here with
How
healthcare?
do your doctors there look at the body as a whole, or do they just look at it as a, oh, you're coming in for this and this is all I'm gonna take care of?
Oh, here, I mean, you need to go to a private doctor. Going to public hospitals, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people, they need to go there, but you know, yeah, I will never, for example, go. So then if you go to a private hospital, it's like you will have a very good doctor, but that costs a lot of money. But you know, for example, let's say that it's a person that is having like a, let's say, a kidney imbalance or a thyroid imbalance. You go to see the specialist, and the specialist that is specialized in kidney or in thyroid, etc. And if the person don't have idea what's going on, then you go with the general doctor, and then the general doctor will say, you know, you need to go and see the specialist in this area. So that's how it works.
Ours is different here.
Yeah. That's how it works. And always you go to the same doctor, because, for example, let's say that is like kidney, or it's a heart imbalance. So always you go to see the same doctor. If we talk about private hospitals, you will go and you will see the same doctor, and is that doctor the one that is going to give the follow-up? And if the doctor will need help, he will be with other doctors, I mean, specialized like in the heart, to talk about you and things like that. Is like that. But I mean, it's private hospitals and private doctors.
I wish we had private hospitals here. It's really sad.
That.
Where are you from, Valerie?
I'm also from Pennsylvania.
You are.
Mhm. Where at?
Mhm.
Well, right now I'm in Scranton. However, I will be moving shortly to Harrisburg for a government job.
Far away. We live up in the mountains, Prince Philip State Park. We live right on the side of it, in a little cabin up on the mountain.
Oh, wow. I bet you get nice nature scenes.
Very beautiful, but this year it's really odd. We've had 6 foot of snow forever, it seemed like, and then we've had nothing but rain for 3 months. In June, we had 3 dry days. In July, we had 2, and so far we've had none in August.
Oh my goodness, wow.
It's really
And where is your location?
Paulo. You tell everyone.
I am in Mexico City.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yes, I am in Mexico City.
Wow. Well, that's pretty neat.
She is a good healer.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. A lot of my clients are different nationalities. They come from all different kind of things. And it's neat because the women, they from their ancestors, they asked to sit on the sessions, and it's kind of like they guide them through it. But we know that with doctors and stuff, with these prescriptions, like the Reiki is like you said, is actually healing the problem so that we don't have it anymore. Whereas doctors, they're prescribing this pill and it might, be good for this one thing, but then you have all these 10 other side effects. Exactly. And I think people are actually starting to wake up to saying, look at, for an operation, or if I need something in emergency, the doctor is good. But as far as we're taking responsibility for our own health care, and the holistic part of it is definitely growing because we're becoming smarter. We have the power, we have the knowledge. It is within us. And what can we do? Like a lot of people are doing the herbal teas and oils and the needles, the more acupuncture. Yes, yeah. So it's kind of like, how do we get to the root of it and then cure it? And just kind of like a healthy lifestyle also.
That's what a lot of people don't like. When I start working with people, and if they have a problem in their stomach, I always ask for a few days journal of what they've eaten and what time they eat, because that has a difference of what may be going on. It can give us signs. And when you start asking that stuff, even with people with weight, when you start asking that stuff, they get very defensive and don't want to give you their list of what they eat. And then when you go into them and work on them, all you find is food toxins. That's why they don't want to give you their list. So many people now, if you realize, I shared something on my Facebook the other day that I found on the news. So many people now are eating out of boxes, cans, and go through drive-throughs, that people are becoming more and more and more ill, more and more obese. Their brain function. Little kids are not able to have the nutrients they need for their brain to go proper, for their bodies to go proper. It is getting to a terrible state. I mean, I was really shocked by what I read. And it's like, what did they think? Oh, well, here, let's just give them a game to play, and here's a pizza from the oven or from the microwave. There you go. That's nutrition for you. No, it's not. And it's so hard to get across to people that nutrition is so important to eat or do smoothies or whatever. The appropriate thing, our bodies can heal with that food. And at the right time, because you test what time your body needs to eat and what time it doesn't. You can test what food you eat and what you don't. And people just think, you're crazy. I'll eat what I want and I'll be okay. No, it doesn't happen like that.
Right. What you have to be very mindful of what you put in. Like right now, I have this, it's a magic bullet. So, so whatever, what's that?
I use mine too.
So this morning I go in there, I pull some watermelon, strawberries, apple, cut it up and throw it in there. But that's another modality that you can use in addition to Reiki, a nutritionalist and then Reiki. So all these things tie into each other. And it is, very important of what you put into your mouth is what your body is designed to tell you, like with alarms or rashes. If there's a rash somewhere that's coming out, that's your way of your body saying something's not right. So you need to make life-changing events, eating, like I've learned, I was a fast food person because I had my kids early. It's just easy and cheap to go through, get that $1 French fry, get that $1 chicken nuggets, so, but then I thought, well, it's just as easy to have a jar of peanuts in the car. So now that when I get the desire to go for French fries, I'll just start snacking on peanuts, and that cures the hunger for that. Yes. And then your body will start craving more peanuts and more fruit, whatever you start putting into your body.
Good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Good brain food.
Right. So Pablo, are you a Reiki 1?
I'm Reiki 2.
How are you?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm Reiki 2. And for me, learning Reiki, if you ask me why, I cannot give you the answer. I don't know. Always I ask for guidance and I ask, what's next? And I wanted so much, to learn Reiki. And for me, has been fantastic learning Reiki, I will tell you, because everything I have learned, I have studied so much. I have studied with the mind, with my mind, and it's like, okay, yes, I'm helping this person. So could be that I need to work with this meridian, with this organ, with this, but is my mind talking, And with Reiki, I have learned I need to disconnect the mind, because in level 1, I was asking my Reiki master, oh yes, I need to trace the meridians and work with the energy of the chakras and the meridians. And she was saying, no, forget about chakras, forget about meridians, feel it, follow your hands, follow your intuition, So this is a beautiful modality that is helping me because I don't need to think. I follow my intuition where I put my hands and what I need to do and to feel the energy and just to feel the intuition. So I'm playing like a kid with Reiki.
Good.
I'm putting Reiki everything, my computer, myself, my dog, my water, where I bath, everywhere, my orchids, everything. And because it's something new that I am doing, I'm not mixing the modalities because I want to see myself how Reiki works. Last week, I think it was last week or the week before, I was feeling terrible. I was having a huge migraine. You don't have idea. I was feeling terrible. And then I was saying, I'm going to do only Reiki and I will work only with Reiki and I will see what happens. It was amazing, because I work on myself only with Reiki and following my feelings and following my hand. I did that in the morning and at night was gone. But I was having 3 days with a huge headache and was gone, completely gone.
Now, do you notice that when you do Reiki too much, you might get a headache, and that is because you need grounding? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, but I was not doing Reiki so much. I was having a headache. For a reason, I was having a headache and I was having 3 days with a headache. And that day I was saying, because I was working with other modality, trying to release the headache. And then that day I was saying, no, I will do only Reiki. That's it. But for example, doing hands-on, truly, I'm doing Reiki on myself and in my dog, hands-on. I will start doing with my mother And with 2 clients that I have, I'm not charging them for them because I still learning, you know, but with 2 specific clients that I have, I asked them if they wanted like to receive like a Reiki distance session, and they say yes. So that is very nice, because then I ask them, please share with me, what have you felt? The way I did it is I asked them, I'm gonna send Reiki tonight. So what hour do you want? And if they say, let's say 8 o'clock at night, then I ask them, go to bed, put Reiki music, relax, close your eyes, and I will be working 1 hour with you. You don't need to write me after the session. If you sleep, that's good. And then that hour, I work with them. I work with them. And I use my imagination to do it, because I shrink the body. I shrink the body like this size, and then I move the body like this to play like.
That's awesome that you're finding your own knack on what
Yeah,
you want
that's
to
the way
do.
I'm doing that. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm loving it so much. I'm loving it so much.
Isn't it awesome? I mean, not only just to feel the energy that comes into us and out of us, but actually to be able to feel that energy connection. As you just, I mean, you just, sometimes you don't even have to place your hand on. Sometimes you can just be an inch or so above, and it's so intense. It is such a beautiful feeling. It enlightens. I mean, we all get blessed from doing Reiki. We really do.
Right.
You know, sometimes you just need somebody else to work on us once in a while.
Right, because it is important for us to get our sessions also. It's good that I do it on myself, but I also go to someone else to do it on me also. Mhm.
Good.
And I think another good thing is that when you do Reiki on yourself or others, is always to clean your energy off. Like some people will pull them out, or just I like to like brush them off. But a good way for me to clean my aura kind of thing is I'll put like something in the bath, in my bath water, like Epsom salts, like lavender or something like that, and that'll help cleanse you also. Because I was told that I was treating clients and their energy, and I would brush it off. It's called the dry bathing, where you shake it off and you wash your hands, but a little bit was staying on a little bit. So it was important for me to cleanse my aura after that. So a way of doing that was to do it by crystals, with different crystals, putting them in the bath, and then also taking Epsom salt baths. And then you can put whatever you like in that.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah, right.
Shake my hand and then go wash them, and my energies are my own, my energies are my own.
Right, because you don't want to carry that around. Right.
Yesterday I was working on somebody and I forgot to disconnect. And about 6 or 7 o'clock last night, Dave goes, "Why are you sitting over there crying?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Who was your last client today?" And I went, "Oh crap, I didn't disconnect." And I was feeling all their emotions. That's the first time I've ever done that. I felt so ridiculous for not thinking of that. We don't have a lot, but not thinking of that. So that was a good lesson.
Right, right.
So always make sure, don't rush, just what you do, take your time.
Right, that is important.
And I was rushing to disconnect and to move everything around. Sometimes when we get, they are, if you've noticed, they are so scattered, and they have let other healers work on them, and they have gotten worse. And then they come to me not believing in the work because of what they've been through. And one lady maxed out 2 credit cards on one healer. And this lady was loaded with so many offensive energy and so much. It was unbelievable. It all came from this healer trying to keep her coming back and maxing out that credit card. We have got to stay out of our ego, out of greed, and keep our minds on our clients. That really affects me. Healers are supposed to be of white light. Healers are dark. There are many dark healers that are not of the light. And that's really sad. That they're out there for the money. They're not out there for the client. They're not out there to give love. And maybe this isn't the place to say in this. We're here to talk, so let's talk. What do you think? I mean, am I right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's important that as the client, though, you have to pick up, see whose energy you're connecting with. I got lucky. So the person that certified me for the first time and that found me in the yoga, I followed her to the Reiki 4 level because I had that strong connection with her. Right. But my suggestion would be is that I tell my clients to listen to your intuition. I might not be the person you connect with, but the people that usually come to me, they're there for a reason kind of thing. So we usually do feel that connection, but sometimes there might not be that connection that you feel, with that person or whatever. So I let them, I encourage them to use their own intuition. And it seems like with you, Pablo, also is that you're learning through the Reiki, and you're also empowering yourself kind of also. So it's just really liberating listening to you talk about it. It's just really nice. You can hear the excitement in your voice. Because it's just awesome. So I love to hear everyone's journey. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love
Exactly.
Apollo just started, what, 2 years ago?
Well, actually 3, yes. I mean, working real deep with energy healing. I have a start, let's say, 2007. I have a start learning energy healing modalities, but for fun. That's the truth. For fun, for me to learn because I was interested. But I mean, working really and developing really a career in energy healing three years ago.
And you've come
on. And I love it. I love it.
And
Reiki for me, it's a blessed modality because it's telling me, hey, you don't need to think. You don't need to put your mind, Paula. It's enough what you know right now, because always my mind is, I need to learn more. I need to know something else to help myself, to help the people. No. It's something else I need to learn. No. And with Reiki is like, it's okay. I mean, play with the energy, believe more in yourself and do it. Forget about the mind. You don't need the mind. And yes, and shutting off the mind is something that is not that easy.
No, it's not. But
with Reiki, I'm learning to do that.
But you made a big point about having faith in yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they do this, they don't have faith within themselves. They don't have that courage, that heart. They don't have that follow. You have heart and wisdom to do this and to go forward with it. And that's why you have been moving so fast. You put out webinars or live videos 3 times a week. Look what all you're doing. Look at the energy you're spreading.
Yeah.
That's blissful.
Yeah.
Cynthia, how did you get started in Reiki?
I have been very sick for a very long time. They told me several times I'm going to die, and I'm not. I was on 32 meds and I came down to 3, and now I'm back up to 16 because of what happened the last couple of years. But I knew there was more. I was doing emotion code and body code, and I'm thinking, there's just more. And then this lady started talking to me about Reiki, and I said, just like I did with Dr. Brown, I don't believe it. Really, let me just hold your hand. I can do with just your hand. And I thought, okay, let's see. It's kind of like, really, I want to see it. And it was like, are you serious? I feel this in my gut. I feel this in my feet. I can feel it everywhere. I said, okay, I want to know more. Teach. And she goes, I'll set you right up. And I just kept going. It was beautiful. And then when I could actually go in and hold that energy where I needed it to help my lungs clear, along with everything else I was doing. It has helped a lot because in December I was on oxygen 24/7. I've had 3 lung surgeries, so from pneumonia. So it kind of screwed up my lungs and scarred them forever, and that's what I did. So mine is not as exciting as Paolo's. I just went through as I was physically able. My husband said, "Are you never going to put that book down? Are you never going to stop reading it?" No, because it's fascinating. I can't stop. And he goes, "Then you need a break. You're getting pale again. You need to lay down." No. I fought really hard not to lay down. But it has been beautiful to even do any of these modalities. I mean, I've been in healthcare of this type. I mean, I'm a nurse, but I've been doing this kind of stuff for 37 years. But I only did it for me. I didn't do it for anybody else. And then I started doing herbal hours and teaching people about herbs. And then, you just get settled, and then you have to be transferred again. You get settled, you get transferred again. So it's really hard making a business go when you just keep getting transferred and you have to start over at every location. So
Now, Cynthia, how do you feel about Reiki being in the hospitals? Because I'm noticing that they're starting to get more popular. Yeah, right. Before and after procedure.
yeah,
Mhm.
I was actually and I said at this time with all this going on, they asked me to come into the VA hospital. And I said at this time I need to say no because of what's going on in my life, and I need to take care of me before I can take care of anyone else. So I've cut my client list way down just to make sure I don't pull too much from me. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know how we hold the grief and the pain in our lungs that can cause such horrific pneumonia that it lasts 7 months and the doctors can't get it. And then when they finally get it, you've got 4 staph infections and you're in the hospital for 6, 7 days. And then you're on oxygen for months and months and medicine and more surgery, more surgery, more surgery. And it's just like, oh no. So they've got me back up on medicine again, but I'm coming back down. They're not very happy with me, but that's okay. It's a fight. It is a fight. If you have good health, cherish it. Cherish it with every your life. I have been a sick child. I was born sick, and I have been sick my whole life. I know now why, and I'm removing past things. But every time you remove, it feels like, Paula, do you feel like you're removing stuff every day and your body is always detoxing and never catches up?
No.
Maybe I am doing too much. Maybe I'm working too hard because I feel like I'm always detoxing. I'm weak all the time. I'm tired all the time. When I get to do this, when I get to be with like-minded and work with people, that's what gives me my peace. That's what gives me my gratitude, my love, because I love to help everybody else. Nobody was there for me my whole life. And if I can be there for one soul, one person, then that's what it's do. So we can touch more souls. We can do so much for the world. And we really need to. Paul and I have been talking and talking. How are we going to bring this around to the world so the whole world will get on this group and just everybody learn and everybody take care of themselves and learn how to cook from scratch. I mean, we'll teach anything that you need. People need to realize there's more than what they're doing. There's more to life. And there's unconditional love. How many people don't feel that? I could go with that. My heart is very deep and more than today, but that's a whole other subject.
Mm.
Our little puppy today. So this I get done from the call and my husband's gonna come and take us to the vet so we can see him in the time. Life is what it is, and the choices we make, we just pray that we make the right choices. And when we make the wrong ones, Lord have mercy, do we pray? I feel like I've made wrong choices my whole life, and I don't know why this is even coming out.
You know what, Cynthia? I don't think necessarily they're the wrong choices because they teach us our lessons. So even the wrong choices aren't the wrong choices. It might be a big pill to swallow. It might suck. But it's kind of like, ouch, that hurt, but that's a lot of times how we learn.
Yes, it is. It is. I wish I could reach out and touch every little kid to teach them to stand up, that they don't have to be hurt. To give them the strength that I didn't.
I'm picking up from you, Cynthia, a lot of your inner child.
I've been working on it, really struggling working on it.
I'm getting the chills like I'm in an ice box right now. So I feel like you have inner child healing that you're going through to be gentle to your inner child. An interesting story I'll just quickly is that the one Reiki session I had, actually at the bottom of my feet, I saw a little baby, and I adore children. And so I picked up the baby like this, and then and I just looked and marveled at this baby, and I'm like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. And then she disappeared. And the Reiki I told the Reiki person what happened. She said, well, you do know who that baby is, right? And I said, oh, she goes, yourself. You need to be kinder with yourself. So you know what I did? I got a little baby picture of myself. So I was a beautiful little baby. And I put it on my mirror. And when I look at that baby, I'm kinder to myself.
That's the idea.
That's your inner, I feel your inner child, Cynthia's definitely needs to TLC. And the inner child, like to treat yourself as a baby. So be kinder to yourself, play with different things and love yourself. I give myself hugs. I buy myself flowers. I love myself 110%. What I look for is something and I have a boyfriend, but I don't look for expectations. What I want, I give it to myself, because you got to fill your cup up first before we share. And I don't like to have expectations, because then you'll be disappointed. If I want those flowers, I'm buying them for myself because I love myself.
That was a hard lesson to learn, to love myself. That was a very hard lesson. And I've just learned that since January, but I still struggle.
Yeah, but that's what life is a life is learning about everything until we die. And we still don't know, but it's just, we always have that thirst and that hunger to learn. But yeah, I'm definitely picking that up from you, Cynthia. So it's kind of your inner child is coming out, which is awesome. That's really neat how we came across that.
Yeah.
And with you, Pablo, I see a lot of yellow around you, which is your solar power. So you're definitely stepping into your power.
Oh, wow.
For sure. Oh my gosh, for sure. If you could, someone could see that a mile away. When you talk.
Oh yes. I have, on some days, I have seen her aura just every color and then some. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful watching you bloom.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you for having me. It was so nice meeting you.
How about we close our eyes and just have a dinner? Heavenly Father, we so graciously thank you for being present with us today and gifting us with Valerie. There was a reason she come today. We bless you for this. We bless you for this. We bless you for the other young lady on the phone. And we bless you for the gift that you honor us with and that we can others with. And we ask that you show us holy and to God. And we thank you for the angels watching over us. We thank you for leaders in the angels. We thank you for our life and peace to you.
Amen.